you're going to pay another installment tomorrow on 18th, $500 million. I want to get into the nitty-gritties of that and how exactly are you managing that. One of the things that countries, like before we get into all the deep conversation about this, I want to get your reaction to what Fitch Ratings did. What I don't understand, I'm a layman, I'm not an economist, so what I don't understand is in order for our economy to be better, we have to do business. In order for our foreign direct investment to be better, we need investors from foreign countries to come here and invest their money. This is the simple logic that I understand. Now, an organization, Fitch Ratings, Standard & Poor's, they come and say, oh, this country is bad to do business. How are we going to get, I mean, we are down the gutter and they are still kicking us. What is your response to these organizations? Because you have clearly set up, we are paying the 500 million. We have never defaulted. This country has done very well in terms of, keeping our promises to the world. We've done all of that. We have a good project coming in. The Port City project is slowly picking up. We have other investments occurring. Major countries are very interested in Sri Lanka and they want to come in. All this is happening. But apparently, these two nonsense organizations is not getting it. Are they getting educated in a different college or something?
Actually, you are very right, Mahieash. Now, if you really look at it, we have been first told that many people, the so-called pundits that you referred to at the beginning, they said Sri Lanka will be never able to pay this debt because their reserves are falling.
Yes, I remember.
And that we won't have the money. If you go through some of your clips,
yes,
I'm sure you'll see plenty of those. Then what happened was, we diligently accumulated our reserves, and we also said that by the 31st of December, 2021, we will have at least $3 billion in the kitty. We did that.
You did that, yeah.
We did that. And once we did that, I think some of these pundits were quite alarmed that we will definitely pay the debt. And then what did they come and say? Notwithstanding the fact that they have been saying right along that all hell will break loose if we don't pay, now they come back, and I was surprised to see some of the names there, they come back and say, hey, don't pay this. Now, I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that supplement where it said a series of people, some supposedly quite...
I know, the key members of this opposition.
And they are saying don't pay it. And they themselves have been saying what kind of a catastrophe would occur if we don't. Now, we leave that aside. But now we are going to pay that. And we are also ensuring that all the debts in the future are also paid. I brought a little chart. Normally I don't, Mahieash, but I thought I'll bring this today because I wanted to show this to you. Now, when we took office, at least when President Gotabaya Rajapaksa took office, he had reserves of $7,642 million. Now, that was a reserve.
This was
on the
after
19th
winning the war, after going through all that, and by 2015, 4-5 years down the line, we had that.
Yes. Now, this was, now when I left the central bank in 2014, it was $8,204 million. However, even after borrowing $12 billion, the previous governors and the previous government could leave only $7,642 million in the kitty for us. Now, with that, we have been managing, and mind you, we have settled something like $12,443 million so far. So, from a reserve of $7,642, you cannot settle $12,443 unless you have been able to do something to bring inflows in. Now, what my point is very clearly that we have been bringing the inflows in, and that is why we have been able to make these payments. So now, even at the end of 2021, we have had a reserve of $3,138 million, and we are gradually increasing that. Now, just a few days ago, you saw how we have negotiated with the Indian government to have a swap facility as well as ACU facility, both of which is about $900 million. Next week or the week after, we'll probably have another $500 million.
Governor, what exactly does this mean when it comes to currency swap? Now, this is a new term that is coming into the conversation. Earlier on, it was the Chinese debt. And then during the election time, and then it slowly transferred into debt. Now everybody was talking about debt, and suddenly we see currency swap. Now I am speaking from a point of a layman who does not understand any of this, and he she hears currency swap. What exactly does this
currency swap is actually a form of a facility that is generally done between two central banks in this particular context. Of course, you can do swaps with others as well, but in this context of what we are talking now, Mahieash, it is where the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, let's say to the Reserve Bank of India, we provide them with rupees to the value of $400 million. So that $400 million worth of rupees at the current exchange rate is provided to the Reserve Bank of India, and in turn the Reserve Bank of India is giving us $400 million. Now the security, if it were, for this particular $400 million is a rupee deposit that we are making with them, and they make a deposit of $400 million with us. So it's a swap between.
So this is not a loan.
It is a form of a loan, but this is a loan where we have also given them a loan. You see, if you see, as I mentioned at the beginning, we give them a loan of the equivalent of $400 million in rupees, which they hold with them. They give us the equivalent of $400 million in dollar terms, and that's an exchange of these funds.